Hi, I'm Steve Nathan, co-founder at TimeHub. Welcome to this quick video which will take you through how to use the MyTimesheets system, which your employer is rolling out to improve the way data capture is handled with respect to timesheets. What you'll see here is at the moment is the login screen. So to access your MyTimesheets account, you will have received an email from us that describes the user code and password. So you go to the mytimesheets.co website in your browser. Now this will work on a PC browser. It will also work in smaller screens such as tablets or smartphones. So you can operate this as long as you can get to a browser and you have online access, then you'll be able to log into your timesheets. There is an offline version or an app version which we'll cover in a separate video, but this version gives you full access to what you've entered as you're entering it and also what you've entered historically. So use your user code, password and company ID to log in, and as you log in you are immediately taken to the timesheet summary screen where you'll see all of the timesheets that have been entered progressively through the week. So as you can see, this is my timesheet for last week where I've got some time, I've got some leave, I've got a note which I'll cover off in a second. So to enter a timesheet you simply click on the add button and it will take you into add mode. Now, depending on what your employer is doing, there are different ways of entering data. So you can enter start and finish time. So if that's what your employer has asked you to do, then you simply enter your start time. Now, there's 24-hour clock, so it's and hours and minutes. So it's 7:30 to 1700 or whatever that may be. There is a start and stop button as well. So if you'd rather use the start and stop button, that's based on your device time. You can enter the number of minutes for your break. You can also enter a note if you wish to enter a note to send to your employer about something that's been happening with respect to this timesheet, and you save that record. Now we've designed this so that you can enter multiple records in a day. So for example, if I wanted to put a note as to why I had the gap, I can come in here, for example. Now these options in the pay code area are based on what your employer will give you access to, so not everyone will see all of these options, but I can also enter time in units. So I could put in here that I did 2 hours with no break to start the day and save that. So now I've got 2 entries. You can also, if it's appropriate and your employer will cover this with you, there may be another drop down or 2 down here where you can enter the job, client, task, process, whatever it is that you're recording. So you can enter those through a pick list similar to this, where you can go in and put in what you've actually been working on during the course of the day. Now if your employer is enabled to leave tracking, you can, for example, put in sick leave or annual leave. You put in how many hours or days depending on what your employer has asked you to enter. And you can put in a note as to why you were on sick if you want to do that, and I save that. So this just builds up a picture of your timesheet for the day. Now if I come in here and I change this, so let's say I should have made that 2 hours, that'll immediately change the font. So you'll notice it goes into this blue color, which means that the data has been edited. If I wish to remove it, I'd simply come in here and delete it, and it's deleted. Now what will happen is over the course of the week this information will build up, and then at the end of the week as the data is pulled into the payroll system, then this information will clear out and a new week will start. So this example, Monday to Friday would be removed now, and then Monday this week would start. Now if you want to look at historical information, you have the ability to go in here and run a report. Now once you've got some information in the system, some history, then you can go and run that as a report. Again, you can run this on screen on your phone, on a PC, laptop, tablet, etc. So this shows me all of the data that's been entered by me into the timesheet system historically, the date I entered it, what was entered, hours, minutes, time, etc., including the notes if that's what I want to see. So just close that down. You also have the ability, if you wish to export the same data to Excel or to some other, to a CSV file. You can import it into a spreadsheet if you want to go and have a look at that data and do some calculations on it. Unlikely, but it's there if you need to do that. The other options you've got in here is our messaging and notification tool. So if you have been asked to, then your employer may ask you to, once your timesheet has been entered, because you can enter your timesheet live or you can enter it after the event, depending on what the model is that your business is operating. But if you've been asked to, then there's a notify button. So if you click on the notify button, then you can send a message to your manager to say, I've entered my timesheet, these are the dates, this is an automatic message, and you click save, and that will send them a message to say that your timesheets are ready for them to process. You've also got our messaging tool up here, so I can come into the messaging app site and I can click on add, and I can send a message to my manager. So this will give you the ability to send messages to any of the admins. So it could be your manager, payroll manager, general manager, whoever it may be. You can enter a message and you can also include that as an email, and then you save that, and then that message will go to that person. If they reply or they send you a message, you'll see a little red notification pop up here, like you do with your standard apps on your phone, and that will tell you that there is a message there from someone. But all of the history of those messages stays inside the messaging app. Let's come back to the timesheet. And then the other menu you've got here is if you wanted to update your email address. So you can have two email addresses. One is your login email, and the other one is where the email notifications go. So for example, you might want to have a business email account where that's where you get the messages during the day if you received a message from within MyTimesheets, but you want to have a personal login for logging into the system. And obviously you can change your first name and last name. We don't recommend that, but it is possible if you wish to do it. You've also got the ability here to change your password if you wish, and the about just tells you who you're logged in as and what your company code is if you ever need to know that information. So we've made this as simple as we can. So just to reiterate, you come into the timesheet, you click on add. Now, as I say, you can do it in small screen, so long as you've got an internet connection and you can get to your browser, then you can go add. So on your phone you can do it on here as well. You can enter the time. Might make that for a different day. So you've got the calendar if you want to, so I can make that on Saturday, and I can put in a note. Worked on Saturday, whatever that may be, and then I can save that information, and that will be there waiting for someone to process it down the track. So, or if I go back to full screen mode, I've got exactly the same information. So when you're finished with this, you can log out if you wish, or you can just leave it, just close the browser, and next time you come back in, you will be logged in. So to get out, I simply go log out, and I'm out. So coming in is easy as putting in my email address, password, and company code. If you forget your password, there is a password reset here, but once you've got the system ready to go, then you're just entering your timesheet and exiting out. In the next video, we'll show you how to use the app. This version gives you full access to be able to see, view, edit, if that's appropriate, all of your data, whereas the Fast app is purely a data entry tool. So hopefully that covers what you need to see.